Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Cameron and welcome to my show. This is a very special show. It's called A Conversation With. I'm going to give you the opportunity of meeting some of the most influential hairdressers of our industry and listen to their life stories. From the beginning of their early days as a hairdresser right through to the highest levels of success they've achieved. So sit back and relax. I want you to get a glass of wine, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a gin and tonic, whatever. But come with me now as we listen to their incredible journey. Welcome to A Conversation With. Hi everybody, welcome to A Conversation With. Well, tonight I have an absolute firecracker for you. Let me just read one of her statements. She said to me, don't worry till you know there's something to worry about. Then draw a line and move on. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight is Miss Sheila Abrahams, and she is a dynamic woman. You're going to adore her. And she is the creator of the Freelance Hairdressing Association here in the United Kingdom. So she's been a friend of mine for many, many, many years. So please welcome Sheila Abrahams. Hi, Sheila.
Hi there.
Hello, beautiful. I love that statement, Sheila. Don't worry, draw a line under it and move forward. I love that. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's lovely to see you.
Sheila, tell everybody where you are. Now, whereabouts in the UK are you at the moment?
I'm in Hertfordshire. I'm in Boreham Wood in Hertfordshire. So been here for about 5.5 years now. So.
And they were Boreham Wood, and they haven't let you out yet.
No, they haven't. But I didn't manage to escape from Luton.
Sheila, we have known each other for so many years, and I have watched you grow from strength to strength, taken bad hits, and then had incredible successes as well. So, Sheila, it's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Now, Sheila, tell me your title. What is your title? I call you El Presidente. What is your title?
Well, I changed it. I started out being the director, but then I made myself the founder, and I've stuck with that, even though my son takes the mickey out of me, to be honest. But there you go.
And Sheila, just before we get started into everything, just explain, if you could, to all of our viewers, what the FHA means.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean? So this is the Freelance
Hairdressers Association.
Yep. And this is an organization, Sheila, that we'll talk about as we go. But this is an organization open to everyone, isn't it?
To all hairdressers, yes, absolutely. All of them, solo artists, self-employed. Yeah, self-employed, freelance, some call it mobile, the whole spectre of the self-employed section of the workforce, yeah.
Now, Sheila, you are, of course, a hairdresser by heart, by trade, and I've got to think you started hairdressing, what, at the tender age of 13 or around that?
Well, I did, yes, I did, because I remember very clearly a conversation with my mum when I was about 13, and I even know exactly where it took place, strangely enough.
Really?
And she was asking me, did I know what I wanted to do when I left school? And I said, yes, I thought I wanted to be a cookery teacher because I enjoyed my cookery classes. And she said, oh, teachers don't earn very much money. So I said, oh, I'll be a hairdresser then. And the next thing I knew, my grandmother had got me a job at the salon where she had her hair done. So at 13, I started my first Saturday job, and I've never looked back. Never looked back.
Gosh. And Sheila, did you go to the London School of Fashion as well?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And that was wonderful. I went to the London College of Fashion to do my training for 2 years. I came out with my City and Guilds qualification, which was a fabulous qualification because you had three main directions you could go in. You could go into hairdressing, you could go into beauty therapy, or you could go into wig making. And that gave me a really good grounding because I've got an understanding. All right, I chose the hairdressing, but it still gives you a really good understanding of the other two parts of our industry. And I love it because I've done quite a lot of work over the years with wigs.
Yeah.
It's all been very, very useful. In fact, at one time I had pigtails, and I think I was about 13 or 14 when I had my hair cut. And I walked in, and the hairdresser just snip, 2 pigtails off, and I got my hair shampooed, and I came out with this hideous. Do you remember that cottage loaf hairstyle? That's what he did to me. I mean, it was hideous. But later on, I took my pigtails and I made them into a hairpiece, which I eventually wore. So that was quite good.
Now, Sheila, obviously you've had a very, very full life. I know that you're incredibly blessed with an amazing family that not only are they there, they support you, they're part of the whole industry now, that they're incredible, right down to your grandchildren, really. But Sheila, back in the early days, you're working in a salon. I remember that you worked in a salon and the salon was sold. You were sold with it almost, so to speak, as a cattle. And then, of course, you work there. Then, of course, it was sold again. Now, way back then, and I've got a feeling, is this way back in the early 80s, the mid 80s?
Yes.
You said that you were looking for alternatives that wasn't in the salon because you had this young family to bring up. So you were looking for what was the alternative. What was the landscape like back then for freelance hairdressers?
Well, first of all, we weren't called freelance. We were called mobiles.
Yep.
In those days, it was a very different feel. Very different times. It's thank goodness it's no longer like that. But the mobile sector was very, very disliked by salons altogether. And I personally think it came from the fact that people did apprenticeships more in those days. And a lot of people would start an apprenticeship and 6 months later leave it, and then say they were a hairdresser because they've got 6 months under their belt, and then they would start colouring and perming hair. And we all know the chemicals are dangerous things if you don't know what you're doing with them. And so, in truth, they did wreck people's hair, and these people then came into the salon and they wanted it put right, and that was how it went. And also, salons didn't like it because mainly from that point of view in the first place. But as things moved forward, salons didn't like it particularly because they felt there was a black market going on. They felt that the stigma, if you chose to work outside of the salon rather than say mobile, if you chose to work outside of the salon, you were immediately considered unqualified, unsafe, if you like, and not running a proper business, and therefore not paying taxes. Which, as time wore on, and when I became affected by this, I'd been, like I think I said to you, I'd been a salon owner. I left the salon because I had a young family and I was torn between the two. But I also stayed on a while in the salon part-time because my biggest fear then was if I stopped my hairdressing, I'd lose my confidence and I'd never pick it up again. So I didn't want to stop entirely. And then I reached the point where I needed to move away from the salon completely. And there I was suddenly in this different world, this underworld.
You're in a no man's land, aren't you? Because
absolutely.
I remember, Sheila, I've been in the United Kingdom since 1987, so a long, long time, 33, 34 years. And I can remember back then, Sheila, mobile hairdressers were commonly called cowboys.
Yes.
As a hairdresser working in a salon, we would look at this and we would go, it was the Wild West, because you're absolutely right, Sheila. People that had very little qualification went out and hung their slate and said, I'm a hairdresser.
Absolutely. But things changed. And it was around, I would say, the late 80s, the beginning of the 90s. I don't know why. I was in the situation where suddenly I was not in the salon anymore, didn't want to lose my skills. Friends had said to me, would I do their hair? And I'd originally said no, but I thought, hang on, I need to be working. And I always say I went into freelance by default. I never meant to, but suddenly there I was. And then when I turned around, I found in my own industry, I had no standing anymore. When I had a salon, I was oh, you know, how many staff, how many this, where is it? Oh, how marvelous. When I said, well, I'm actually, you know, freelance. Oh, and they moved on. And I thought, hang on a minute, I'm still the same person. And as I've said many times over, you know, my hands are on the end of my arms, and my arms go wherever my feet take them, and my hands will do the same work wherever I stand. So it makes no difference in a salon, out of a salon. My work is still going to be my work. And I also, for whatever reason, I don't know, I just had a feeling that things were changing. And there are a lot of very professional people out there choosing to work outside of the salon, like me, but having no place in the industry. And I thought, you know what, this can't go on. There's at the time, the NHF, as it was then, that represented the salons and the salon owners. Well, what about us? And all I knew for us was pick up the carpet, sweep them under and put it down, make them go away, make them go away. I thought, nah, this is not right.
I remember, Sheila, and I think it was about 1993, around that sort of time. I remember you accosting me, and at Salon International, I think it was, and I thought, who's this lady coming at me? And I was just, I think I fell in love with you then, to be honest with you. I think it was your passion, Sheila, and you were on this road, and you were destined to try and change the industry's perception of what a mobile hairdresser was. And way back in 1993, you were absolutely on that road to starting that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 1993 that we actually launched the whole thing at Salon International. And it was a precarious thing. Alan Goldsborough of the day came and cut the ribbon for us. And we had people queuing up because prior to the launch, in the Hairdresser's Journal, which at the time was a weekly,
that's right.
And at the time I'm talking about, Maria Wyers was the editor.
Love Maria.
And she's lovely lady, and she supported what we were doing. So while all this backlash was going on with salons, there became an argument week on week through the letter pages of the Hairdresser's Journal. And one week, do you remember, one week there'd been somebody slating the mobiles, and then there's my answer saying, da, 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 won't have this. And it went on for weeks, and I kept those copies because it was fascinating stuff. And then she was the one that announced that we were launching, and we had people queuing up to join. It was amazing.
Maria was a visionary, and she is a visionary. Even today, when you speak to Maria, she's always looking forward. Maria, you know, we laugh and look back, but we're always looking forward. And Maria was that person. So I remember, Sheila, when I met you and you had this concept. And one of the reasons why I think you resonated with me was because I myself, even for all of my accolades, even for traveling the world, representing British hairdressing at the highest level, never worked in a salon. So in essence, I was a freelance hairdresser as well. So I think that's why your story resonated with me, and that we hit it off in this connection, because I could see you wanted to move the side of the industry into a platform of excellence.
Absolutely, yes. And I remember I came to you were book signing your first book. That's when I accosted you. And you agreed that you would come and be our guest, the first of many on our annual events. Yeah. And I remember the fun that we had when the first time you were on our stage. The whole audience was absolutely, I think we were saying this earlier, was in stitches. They were crying with laughter at the way you were describing the way we put hair up and hide behind it, pack it into shape. And we all resonated because we all knew you were exactly right what you were saying. And you stood on our stage and you said, guys, I'm the same as you. I'm a freelancer, just the same as you. The only difference between us is you go into people's homes, I go into people's countries.
Did you want to slap me, Sheila? I'm sure you wanted to.
No, never. It was true.
It was one of those things. And the interesting thing, and you're absolutely right, I remember back there all of those articles going on about about this sort of salon versus freelance, versus mobile. I'm really happy to say, and I really mean this word mobile is almost being put back, it's been denigrated back into the dustbins. And this word freelancer is really such an all-encompassing word now, isn't it? Because it really sort of says who we are, I think, much better than a mobile.
Absolutely. Freelance means you ply your trade wherever it is and wherever you are. You can stand in someone's home, you can stand on a stage, you can go into somebody's country and stand on their stage. It doesn't matter where you are. Freelance is what we are. We work where we find it, where it takes us.
Tell my viewers what you offer. What do you offer? What does FHA offer?
What do we offer? We offer a place for everyone to come to. It's really interesting because over the years, when we started the whole thing, we had a list of what we wanted, a wish list. And the wish list we succeeded with over the years, but not in the way we thought we would do it. And as it is today, the members from the very beginning, this is all about the people that join, because it is the members that make this fabulous community. And they are lovely, lovely people. They are all professional. They all care greatly about their work. They love their work. They care about training. Training is a high, high priority, and it's something that we've always strived to give them. When we started out, training was very, very expensive. And particularly if you worked for yourself, you weren't in a salon. You weren't being sent on a jolly. If you were there, you were paying for it out of your own pocket. If you were told to be there from 9 to 5, you were there from 9 to 5. And so I was going to the different companies, the colour houses, and saying, we want training, but we want it at the right price. Because for us, it's not just the cost of the course, it's the cost of a loss of a day's earnings, it's the cost of getting there, and that your £200 course for us is like £500. I don't want to offer people carrots. That's what I want, but I can't reach it. I want them to have as much as they can. And over a period of time, it worked, and we were getting the support. And we've always, training, even today, is a high priority that we bring to the members.
But you also, another one of your big priorities, isn't it, is connection. You want them to connect.
To that, yeah. Absolutely. Everybody needs today. One of the biggest things that people join for, apart from obviously we have a criteria. People have to meet our criteria. They have to be qualified and prove qualification. They really do need a level of work experience as well, if possible. Although we do support those that come straight from their NVQ2, we support them. They have to have insurance. They have to be running a bona fide business. Now, insurance is really important. And we have an insurance policy that I helped with the underwriters. So I know it's exactly right for all of the members, however they work, wherever they work, because our members come from all angles. Some of them are tutors in colleges and still run their own business. Some people work in their own, have a little salon in their home, a beautiful salon in their home. We cover those. Some people rent a chair. We cover those. Some people work in care homes. We cover those. Wherever they work, we can, and barbers as well, we can look after them. And we know that our policy has things that other policies don't have, because I'm a hairdresser. I know what I need. I know what they need. So we dealt with that for them. But today we have our virtual staff room, which is proving to be the most amazing space you could get into. It's completely private to the members. So the members know it is a completely safe space to say what they want to each other, the encouragement they give each other, the support they give each other, the advice they give each other is just wonderful to behold. And we've got people who are members from way back when. I love them to pieces. We've got new members that are coming in. I love them to pieces. And the nicest thing of all is that when they come into the staff room, one of the first things they say, apart from the welcome that they get, is, wow, I never knew. If I'd have known before what this is like, I would have joined years back. It's just lovely. They're just lovely, lovely people. And as I say, a priority for training.
Yeah, no, it truly is. And I also know that you do lots of business courses as well. You advise them on tax and so on and so forth. So it's really not only about the creativity of hair, but it's also how to run your own successful business as well.
Exactly, because the thing is, people start out, they think, I'm a hairdresser, I can earn money. Yes, of course you can. But the thing is, once you're working for yourself, on this hand, yes, you are that hairdresser that earns money, but suddenly on this hand, you're a business person and you've got to know how to run that business. Yeah. And that very often scares people. But the reality is, if you are a new business, you're starting small. So as long as you grasp how to do it while it's small, you grow with it, and it's not a problem. You do it properly. And that, that's really important.
Yeah. Now, Sheila, also too, and this is very fair to say, you're also fly the flag for the salon owners, because I know that as well. You're not just on one side. I know you look right across. And even though for many years you were vilified really at the very beginning, because of course dealing with all the mobiles and so on, but you're looking at a very changing industry now, aren't you, Sheila?
Absolutely, absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, we are one industry. We all pull together, and education doesn't matter whether you're a salon or you're a freelancer. We all need this together. And to me, I always had a long-term vision where everybody would intertwine and be as one. And I think, to be honest with you, I think it really is beginning to happen now.
Sheila, the interesting thing is now, isn't it? We're starting to see lots of information where salons now are hiring out spaces. So, yes, we've always had that rent-a-chair concept, but there are new concepts going on now where people are saying, hey, listen, we've got a vibrant salon, we've got a great team, and we would like to welcome you into our team, but you'll come in on your own jurisdiction. So you can still be a freelance hairdresser, but you can now work inside this environment with a rental depicting such and such. So that's really interesting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's really great, because there are certain clients that you want to make special, and sometimes it's easier to work in that salon environment if you haven't got it. But of course there are so many now who are setting up spaces in their home or the bottom of the garden or something like that, and this has become really big. It had started before, at the beginning of the year, before the first lockdown. I saw it was beginning to happen quite a lot, but it has accelerated now.
And Sheila, we are not talking about a garden shed here, are we?
No, we are not. No, we are not.
Talking about high-end salons inside people's spaces. I mean, these are unbelievable, aren't they?
They really are. During lockdown 1, not lockdown 2, during lockdown, we did lots and lots of Zooms, which kept everybody together. And in truth, it kept us all sane, because we had times when we could just share. If we were wobbling, we shared it because everybody was feeling the same.
Everybody.
And we also talked about the salons that people were making, and a couple of our members, one of our Zooms, a couple of our members showed us around the salons they have. They are beautiful, really beautiful. I'm so proud of them. Honestly, I am, because the way they do things is just beautiful. What can I say?
Sheila, if only, I've known you for so long, and people here are watching this interview. The love that comes from you, Sheila, is truly, truly real. And for anybody watching this, if you think this lady is putting on a face or doing whatever, she is not. What you see is what you get. This lady is like water. She'd get where water wouldn't. Honestly, you know, Sheila, this passion that you have, this drive that you have, it's so reflective on how your company is growing.
Yeah, well, it is. It is. But I care very much about these people. I want them to do well. I want to give them what they need so that they can fly, you know, and a lot of them do. And a lot of them have managed to, you know, pricing is always an issue. And if you haven't got the support of an organization or a person or whatever, you come out, you want to set up your business and you've got no idea how to set your prices. And it is so important. And as I said, this is something we help people with. We show them how to do it and give them the confidence to do it, because in my opinion, I feel that the FHA very often that is the parent to the child, because if you belong to the organization, you can say to a client, I belong to this organization, they say this is what I have to do. You don't have to take the flak on your own. You've got somebody to blame. You know, let the clients phone me up, I don't care. I'll speak on behalf of my members and say they're worth every penny. Honestly, I will.
Oh, Sheila, and I know you would. And
I would.
You know, Sheila, how are you feeling about the industry at the moment? What are your thoughts about our industry at the moment? I mean, haven't we done, as an industry, an incredible job keeping people safe? Haven't we done an amazing job with PPE?
Everything we can do. I'm so proud of the industry as a whole. They have all been amazing. They have actually put themselves through hoops to make sure that they're doing things properly, because they want to look after their clients, which we've always done anyway. But they want to look after their clients, and really and truly, we are very, very important to the clients' mental health as well.
I agree.
Other countries have seen this. Our country, sadly, has not seen how important we are to our clients.
Oh, Sheila, it breaks my heart when I think that we're put in the same space as retail. You know, I mean, we're not a TK Maxx. We're none of those things. You know, we are absolutely for the community. And I couldn't agree with you more. You know, for mental health and all the different things, you know, people need these touchstones, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've always said at the end of your hairdressing career, you should get a PhD in psychology given to you. Because the conversations we have and the way we look after our clients, you know, that, I mean, it's a well-known fact. They tell us things they don't tell their best friend. You know, we are so close to these people. We are so important in their life, but at the same time, not in their life. So we are their safe space.
Yeah. You know, Sheila, one of the things that I've always loved about your organization as well is that you, and this is important to say this, you are politically neutral, which means that you go right across all the different distributors, you go right across all the different product companies, you accept education from lots and lots of different avenues and so on. So I really want to make that point clear. So, because I don't want people to feel as though you're all about trying to sell one thing.
No, we're not. We're not. Every company that we go to, we offer the same palette, if you like, and it's up to them what they choose to take from what we offer. It's always been that way. It just has. And I'm delighted to say we've got more companies now coming to us, because what we have created, everybody knew way back when that there was these people working for themselves, but they didn't know how to get to them. And we became the gateway to this marketplace, if you like. And that is why the more people that join the organization, the more strength and the more power we will have when talking to companies to get things going for these people. I mean, we've got deals with different companies where our members save money on their shopping because they get discounts on their shopping. And that's just one
Sheila
thing.
Abrahams, you will get a deal wherever you can. I love that. You are so wily. Can I? You can get a deal. Sheila will get a deal. I'll tell you that. But Sheila, what's interesting now is so many salons now are operating. I mean, I'm talking about successful big salons are operating from week to week, very much like the freelancers do now. So the wholesalers and the distributors are becoming very important players, aren't they?
They all are, yes, yes. Everything, like you say, right now, it's almost like the industry is a little bit in free fall. You know, nobody quite knows where they are. We will come out of it, and we will come out of it stronger. And another interesting side is that, you know, there's a lot of people now who will be looking to change their job. And I think a lot of people will be coming, you know, there's a lot of frustrated hairdressers out there. There's a lot of very, very talented.
Sheila, there are so many frustrated. Listen, the amount of people that come to me and say, oh, you know, I've always thought of being a hairdresser. I quite like it. I like it, but my mum and dad said it was a really bad job. Creativity, Sheila. Never underestimate the power and the happiness that's attached to creativity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I reckon we'll see a pouring of new people coming into our industry, and it will be interesting because they'll have another slant on it, and it can be very, very refreshing because you can always learn from these people. I remember Joshua Galvin. It had an article a long time ago, obviously, in the Hairdressers Journal, and I remember because he was very, very into his, you know, training with the young people coming in. And one thing he said, and I loved it, when he said, you know, you train these people, and as you're training them, you can learn from them too. You know, and I love it because you show them the old ways of doing it and they'll put a new slant on it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Sheila, it's going to be very interesting as well, because obviously with the industry being the way it is, and you're saying, and you're right, because I often say this now, the industry is in free fall, and free fall means that we're not an industry that's disintegrating or going away. We're an industry that is morphing into something new, and so that's what we mean by free fall, isn't it? It's more something new. So the thing, Sheila, and I'd love to hear your take on these things. Apprenticeships. Tell me what you think.
Tell you what I think. I think in some ways we're a show and tell industry. I think it's really hard to write down what we do and how we do, because it's all here. It's all in the field. And I think, I know it's hard. I know we have to have qualifications, but something in me often says, you know, maybe some of the old ways were good ways and could be brought back in somehow for training, because it's all about practice, isn't it?
It's all about practice.
Always.
Do you think, Sheila, because obviously a lot of salons now are finding it hard to take on apprentices because of the financial climate that we're in at the moment, let's be honest. You know, salons have been closing, they've been furloughed their staff. I mean, most salons now at the moment are playing catch up because obviously of horrendous things that have been going on. I just wonder whether, Sheila, you know, I mean, obviously, both you and I know the value of a salon. We know the value of an apprentice going into a salon and working hands-on in the salon beside a master, beside someone that they can look up to. So we definitely know the power of that. But if we are in a situation where a lot of new apprentices that are coming through from colleges can't find their way, perhaps, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Sheila, perhaps there will be a new avenue for you with your passion to start looking at where these young kids are going to go, you know, because I know how passionate you are about everything. And so just interesting, just off the top of my head, if they can't go to a salon, where can they go? And we need to find places for these kids to go.
I'll tell you where I think they could go. And I am sure that my freelancers who are running really good businesses would, and I'm sure take on a youngster to shadow them. So I'm convinced of that. I know, in fact, I know, to be honest with you, I know where it's already beginning to go on, where this is happening, where people are, because my members are loving, are so helpful to one another. Sometimes they'll group together and help one another. I think you're right. I think there are places where we can probably help kids coming in, because, like I say, it's all about if you're a hairdresser, you're a sponge. You watch somebody and you don't realize what you're taking in until you start to do some work. You think, where did I get that idea from? And you realize, oh, I know, I saw that, I was watching that. Suddenly it's in your hands and you're doing it.
Oh,
and
my
I'm
gosh,
sure,
I've just had an idea. Oh
yeah,
my, you're just hearing it here now. Apprentice share. So you would share an apprentice. Perhaps you would share an apprentice between two stylists, between two operators, between two freelancers, between two people in a salon, between two salons. Perhaps this may be an avenue that we can start looking at, a share scheme where our young kids can still get the benefit and excellence of working beside amazing people.
Particularly as we were talking earlier about these small salons where people are working from home, I am sure these people would love to have somebody helping them, watching them, encouraging them. And it would be wonderful because they'd be one-to-one. It would be amazing. It could be a whole new area.
I mean, I am excited for our industry. I know we're in lockdown. I know all those things. So I'm not going to talk about that because we all know that that's shit. So we're not going to talk about that, Sheila. But I'm excited for the future of our industry. In 2021, when we see this marriage of digital, of Zoom, of education, of freelance, of salon, there's such a myriad of cross-fertilization going on that it's going to be really interesting what 2021 is going to do for our industry.
I think so. And I hope that people will be more open now to helping one another, because in that first lockdown, our industry was amazing. It came together like no other time before. The free education that was online from people, I mean, from everybody. There was, L&D education, there was Sassoon education, these places that normally you would pay to. It was there. Yes, your education. It was there, and it was there for the taking. And I think that was absolutely fabulous. And plus, people could see, yes, when I've got the money, or I want to go to these places because I now see the value of what they have to give me.
Randy.
So Patrick, sorry to interrupt, but there's some comments that are going on in the background that maybe you guys aren't picking up. Oh, Sheila, your website seems to be down. Can you get an update, because there's some people that are definitely interested in joining?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, actually, thank you for that, Randy, because it is down, and I know it's down because we are just on the edge of relaunching a fabulous new website. So I'm so excited by this. We've had it revamped. It will be down for a day or so. Please keep going to find it, but we've made great changes. Very exciting. So please take a look. Don't give up on us. We're coming back. We're coming back even stronger. So with our new website, which is going to be amazing.
You know what, Sheila? There are so many comments coming up, and I know that this format that I have is about me talking to you. I do love to go back later on and I look at all the comments that are coming through, and it's just such an interesting topic. And Sheila, I just knew you would be a font of information, and you were so nervous about coming to talk to me. I can't believe it, because I tell you what, listen, this was my interview here, Sheila, and this because you and I, darling, and this is one thing that I know, we can talk. You and I talk.
But you know something, Patrick? One thing I would like to say, among my members, I have got the most fantastic people that help me. They help me, and they are volunteers to me. They are the most wonderful people. They help me with training. They help me with running the organisation and looking after the members. We've got a team of fabulous reps who run different groups around the country. Now, this has become really exciting because in the old days, when you had to travel, we had local groups in areas. Now with Zoom, we've got more groups than ever with reps looking after them. But the truth is, if you live in Scotland and you want to belong to the Berkshire group, you can. If you're in Devon and you want to go to the Midlands, you can. We have got girls that set themselves up as reps, and they are amazing girls, and they look after smaller groups so that as much as you're part of the big family, there are smaller families that you can go to, and they also concentrate on training. They do in-house training, they do skill sharing, which is fabulous because we can all help one another, because that's what this organization is all about. Once you're in, you've just got to throw yourself into it because it's all there for the taking. If you put yourself in, you get so much more out.
You know what's amazing, Sheila? Again, I come back to this. I've known you for so long. I know, I had on here, I had all sorts of challenges that you'd faced, the horrendous challenge with the old company and what had happened and blah, blah, blah. But you know what, Sheila? I've decided you and I ain't singing anything sadder than zippity-doo-dah, are we?
No.
Zippity-doo-dah. Listen, my work's all but dried up. I don't have any work on now. I'm working here in my studio. I do reach out programs with my education and isolation, plus, of course, my conversation with you tonight. I try and give to the industry as much as I possibly can. But at the same time, Sheila, both you and I, we're business people, and we try also to turn our education and our help, your help, also into a valuable commodity that people want.
Yeah, I like that. It's quite true, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it really is.
I can't believe talking for 45 minutes almost, and we've hardly drawn breath. The comments have been coming up fast. I just know that this interview is going to get lots of feedback, lots and lots of feedback. But the most important message I want to finish off on, though, Sheila, is that both you and I are equally as passionate about salons as we are about freelancers. And I don't want anybody to send any negative feedback in saying about salons this and salons this and freelancers this, freelancers. We are one industry.
Absolutely.
One industry. That's what you're aiming towards, a marriage of one industry moving forward with a more powerful base.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I must say, the journey that I've been on since 1993 has been the most exciting, interesting. I never would have believed it would happen to somebody like me. I've met the most wonderful people on my journey. I've taken people with me, my members. I've always said to them that I've been on a huge learning curve, but I've taken them with me. They've been on the same curve as me. So mistakes that I've made, hands up, I ain't perfect, but we've had fun all the way. It really has. And as I say, the people that I've met, you are an incredible friend to me and to the organisation. I can't believe, and right the way through, I had so much help over the years from wonderful, wonderful people. I would never have believed. And I always said, really what I started out with was a dream. And dreams do come true.
Oh, Sheila, this is like the Academy Awards. Sheila, also too, I want to say a huge thank you to Alan, because Alan is your husband. Alan is amazing. And he has been such a support to you. Not only that, but your family, your grandkids, and so on. But Sheila, it comes from you. You are the driving force. You are a tour de force. You are an energy that is just infectious. And I tell you what, I love my relationship with you. We always have a laugh, don't we, Sheila?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Sheila, I just want to say a huge thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for being my guest on A Conversation With. Perhaps we can do it again another time.
Who knows? That would be lovely. And thank you so much. I feel very privileged to have been asked by you. Really.
I know you sort of said when I asked you, would you do it for me? And you kind of went, what? Me? I think you clutched your pearls. But I tell you what, Sheila, you're an absolute joy. You were a joy to interview. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Love you always, Patrick. Thank you.
Be safe. Sheila, I'll give you a quick ring once I come offline just to say thank you. But guys, please, Sheila Abrahams, thank you so much, She. Have a fantastic night. Oh my God, what an incredible lady. I mean, you felt it. You felt her power. I hope it was palpable. I hope that you felt as though you heard someone and you met Sheila if you've met Sheila for the first time, I hope that you've fallen in love with her as well, because I tell you what, everything she says is pure gospel, and she's out there for the industry and she's out there for the individual. So guys, thank you so much for joining me for education isolation. What am I saying? For a conversation with, and I'll see you on Monday morning at 10:30 on Facebook and Instagram for my education and isolation. Guys, God bless. Take care. Lots of love.